Okay. So remember that a key limiting factor, a KLF is a scarce resource. Is a scarce resource that hinders an organization. That hinders an organization from producing the maximum number of units, demanded. So any scarce resource that hinders an organization from producing the maximum number of units here demanded is what we call a key limiting factor. A key limiting factor. So now, having appreciated this, then what are the basic steps? Pretty similar to what we did. The basic steps. Step number one, ladies and gentlemen, is to determine the contribution margin of each product. The contribution margin of each product. That is number one. And then number two, you determine, or rather you identify the limiting factor. So identify the limiting factor. Identify the limiting factor. And then number three, straight away, we shall be able to determine the contribution margin per unit of the limiting factor. Determine the contribution margin per unit of the limiting factor. Determine the contribution margin per unit of the limiting factor. Number four, you rank on the basis of three above. Rank them. And then number five, you prepare an optimal production plan. You prepare an optimal production plan. That's how we get our key limiting factor production plan. Great. So are we together as pertains this? Are we together as pertains this? Yes. Thank you so much. Now, if that is the case, we shall straight away look at an illustration. We shall look at an illustration straight away. So this is the illustration that I prepared for you guys. So we have here key factor analysis. So you're given, in this case here, an example here. So they've told us Pi PLC manufactures two products, A and B. Then they have given us the cost curve for the two products. Profit is given down here, if you can see. Then we have machine hours per unit. Then we have got maximum demand. As you can remember, as per our definition, when we talk over a key limiting factor, it will be that particular factor that prevents us from achieving this maximum demanded units here. The maximum demanded units. Right? You can't achieve this simply because this factor is what is scarce. And then they have given us the total hours available at 48,000. They want us to calculate the optimum production plan and the maximum profit using conventional key factor analysis, not throughput. They want us to use the old conventional key factor analysis where we go through those basic steps. So we want to take a minute break to allow you guys, in this case, take a screenshot of this question. Take a screenshot of this question for your future revision. Just screenshot my screen. For future revision, ensure that you have got this particular question. Great. So in this question, if I'm the one doing this question, I would want to get very fast the variable cost per unit. Is there anybody who is able to give me the variable cost per unit? Very fast. Variable cost per unit. Very fast. Please give me the variable cost per unit. Very first. Please give me the variable cost per unit. Very first. Please give me the variable cost per unit. Give me the variable cost per unit. Is there somebody who can give me the variable cost of A? The variable cost of A. So add all the other costs except fixed cost. So the variable cost of A, if we are together here, will be 8 plus 5 plus 7, which will be 20. You can equally take the total of cost. The total cost of 23, you subtract the 3. You subtract the 3. Whichever way, is there somebody who can give me the variable cost of our product A? Somebody give me these answers here. So we have product A, we have product B. So product A, they have given us the price and the variable cost. My students have been able to get. For A, we have 20 more. How about variable cost for B? How about variable cost for B? A, they are saying is 24 for B. B is 24. I suppose we want to imply that the variable cost of B is 24. Right. Thank you very much. The price has been given. The price of the two products have been given. We have our price here. We have our price here. The selling prices are given at 25 and 28. 25 and 28. So we have here 25, 25 and 28. So the first step is for you to come and give us what we call the contribution margin, which is price minus variable cost. So the first one is 5. The second one is what here? The second one is 4. So contribution margin, we have 5 and 4. So is there somebody, ladies and gentlemen, who can first of all confirm that we are together up to here? You've been able to get how much each unit is contributing towards what your fixed cost and the profitability of the organization. Thank you very much. You're together. So then what will be the next step? Having gotten the contribution margin, what will be our next step? Having gotten the contribution margin, what will be our next step? 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 Right. All right. What do you think would be our next step? What do you think would be our next step? CM ratio, no, we don't go to the CM ratio. God don't worry. Thank you for trying, but we don't go for the CM ratio. We don't go for the CM ratio in this key factor analysis. We do what the Lenovo person is telling us. We identify the key limiting factor. We identify the limiting factor, yes. Identify the limiting factor. So give us the limiting factor here. So the limiting factor units, the limiting factor units, the limiting factor units, we are looking at machine hours. So machine hours. So give us the limiting factor units for each of the products. So machine hours, ladies and gentlemen, what do we have? Jamie is saying that he's hearing noise from my end. Is that the case for everybody? Are you guys able to hear me very well? Or there is noise from my end? What will be the problem? Sorry, just give me a minute then. Contribution margin per unit of the limiting factor, we are taking 5 divided by 2. So I'm able to see 2.5 here. So this is 2.5. We're dividing. 4 divided by 1. 4 divided by 1. 4 divided by 1. 4 divided by 1 is 4 like that. So having gotten, ladies and gentlemen, the key limiting factor, the contribution margin per limiting factor, go ahead and rank for us. Go ahead and rank for us. Remember, the higher the better.
So this takes up position number 1 because it has a higher. This takes up position number what here? Position number 2. Position number 2. So you rank them like that. Rank them. So of course, having ranked, now we should be able to go to the last step, which is the step of what here? The production schedule. The production schedule. So production schedule, what do we have under the production schedule? We have our products here. And now remember these products here, we write them as per the rankings. The one that was ranked number 1 here is B. And then we have A there. So B was ranked number 1, and then we have got A. So give us this maximum demand. Give us the maximum demand. Give us the maximum demand. So the maximum demand, what do we have here for maximum demand? So for maximum demand, this is what we have here. They have given us maximum demanded units in the question. They have given us maximum demanded units in the question. They have given us the maximum demanded units in the question. The maximum demanded units in the question, we have B, which we started ranking, is 10,000 and 20,000. 10,000 and 20,000. So we have here 10,000 and 20,000. I have to pause a little bit because I've seen a concern from a student, right? I've seen a concern from a student who is saying the board may not be very clear, but I can again see from Martin Kyunguti that it is clear. So is it clear for everybody else apart from Eric? Yes, so Eric, it means it is your internet this time round. Great. Thank you very much. So give us the maximum demand. Now, once you've given us the maximum demand, the next thing will be for you to tell us the limiting factor resources being utilized. Tell us these maximum demanded units, how many machine hours will they need? How many machine hours will they need? So once you have given us the maximum demand for the products in the sequence that you ranked them, go ahead and give us the machine hours needed by the maximum demand. So the machine hours, remember these are the machine hours, I'll pick them from here. For B, it's 1. So machine hours here. So we have here machine hours. So we have here machine hours. For B, we are saying for B is 1. For B is 1. For B is 1. So machine hours for B, we have 1 there. And then A, machine hours are how many? They are 2. But now remember that this is per unit. This is per unit. So I would want to get the total. So please come and multiply for us to give us the total machine hours. So the total machine hours here will be 10,000 times 1, which gives us 10,000. Then we have 20,000 times 2, which gives us what? Somebody there, which gives us 20,000. Not 20, but 40,000. 40,000, like that. So the machine hours that we read from here, were machine hours here for each unit. They have told us these are machine hours per unit. They have told us that these are machine hours per unit, 2 and 1, like that. So when you multiply, you should be able to get the total. So kindly come and give me the total machine hours needed. So the total machine hours needed are 50,000. The total machine hours needed are 50,000. So these are the total machine hours required. We compare this vis-a-vis the total machine hours available. The total machine hours are available, which in the question they have told us are 48,000. 48,000. So then could you kindly give us the deficit? Kindly give us the deficit. So available, we have how many? 50,000. Our required 50,000. 50,000. 10K. And then we have, not 10K, not 10K, not unless I not get the available very well here. The available are 48, not 40. Available are 48. Available are 48. So 50 versus 48. The deficit is how much? It's 2,000 if I'm not wrong. So this is the deficit. So then what do we do with this deficit, ladies and gentlemen? What do we do with this deficit, ladies and gentlemen? What do we do with this deficit? Just like, for example, you are a man. A man here who has gone to shopping with the kids, with his kids. So you go and have those kids getting some good shopping spree. They take everything, dump it onto the trolley. You walk into the cashier's desk majestically. And then when the cashier punches, she realizes that you really need like 50,000. But what you have between you and poverty, you can't increase even a single cent. Beyond that is 48,000. So required is 50. What you have is 48,000. So what will you do? Amidst all the embarrassment, what will you do? You know, if it's a lady, for a lady, it's not a big deal, right? They always get their way out very easily and they sort themselves out very easily. Fuliza, if there is no Fuliza, return back. That is the thing. You return back. You prioritize and then return back. But remember that the one that you shall always give priority is the one that was ranked first. So when you're returning back goods, you always start by returning the goods of that product which was least ranked, the one that was least ranked, the one that was least ranked. So the one that is least ranked here is this one here with A, or product A is the one that is least ranked. So this is where I will snatch the deficit resources. And fortunately, all of them can fit here. Fortunately, all of them can fit here, minus 2,000. So I'll not be able to touch resources of product B, which was ranked best. So here I say minus 2,000, which gives me 38,000, like that, which gives me 38,000, like that. Great. So what does that mean? If I've slashed the resources of A to 38,000, then I must also slash the units now here. I must slash the units here. So I will come and say that I will assume straight away that the quantity here is not known. So I let the new quantity of A to be X. And I'm saying here that my X times 2 here, X times 2 should now be equal to the available resources here, right? Should be equal to 38,000, 38,000. So meaning that X will be 38,000 divided by 2, meaning that X will be what here, somebody? X will be 19,000. X will be 19,000. Meaning that X will be 19,000. So implying, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the day, the production quantities, what you're advising these people to come and produce here, the production quantities will be B. B, of course, you're not touching the quantity here. B is 10,000. And then A is the new quantity that you got here, which is 19,000. And now that is the end of that question. That is the end of that question. Now listen and listen to me very carefully. What if you had this arrangement? What if you had this arrangement? Listen here. What if you had this arrangement? What if you had this arrangement? BAC, assuming C in this case here, so this is 20,000 times 2, giving us 40,000. Assuming this is 1,000 times 3. 1,000 times 3, giving us 3,000. Such that at the end of the day, you need 53,000. 53,000. So these are the hours needed, hours required. But hours available are 45,000. So in this case here, could you kindly give me the deficit here? Kindly give me the deficit here. Kindly give me the deficit here. 53,000. Aha, it's 8,000. 8,000 deficit, yes. So this deficit, I would want somebody to spread the deficit out, and if possible, to come and give us the optimal production quantities. Please spread this from the back of your books try spreading this deficit of 8,000 to the level that you shall be able to give me. You shall be able to give me the optimal production quantity. The optimal production quantity. Unaweza ama hauwezi? The optimal production quantity. Unaweza ama hauwezi? Unaweza ama hauwezi? So please give me this figure, the optimal production quantity. Utaweza ama uwezani nayo wewe? Okay, I can see answers being floated here. I can see answers being floated so nicely here. Great. So I can see answers being floated here very nicely. So good. Okay, great. So thank you very much. So they're telling me, ladies and gentlemen, that here we should be able to produce, assuming this is the arrangement, So remember that we are recovering these deficit units here using the orthodox way, recovering upwards, starting from the least ranked. So 8,000 is what I'm recovering up. So here I shall come, and of course I can't get all the 8,000 units from here. So I shall first of all recover all which are available here for C. I still have a deficit of how many to make my 8,000, 5,000. So the 5,000 will be recovered from there. Once I recover from the 2, I've now been able to recover I've been able to recover the entire 8,000. So I don't need to proceed with my journey. So here, of course, it means this is 0. This one now will be 35,000, right? 35,000, right? So it means that here, of course, I know C will not produce anything at all because now there is nothing available for C, right? But in this case here for A, I have to look for the new quantity. So I'll come and call this X. So for A, I have to get this new quantity X. So it will be X times 2 equals 35,000. So meaning that X will be 35,000 divided by 2, which gives me how many units? 35,000 divided by 2, which gives me how many units? 17,500. 17,500. And therefore the optimal production mix, optimal production mix will be B, 10,000 units. And then we have A, 17,500, like that. C, of course, is 0. And I'm so happy because I saw some of you getting this correctly. So you're doing limiting factor analysis. So here we are. So I would want somebody in this case here to try doing this part 3 for us. Try doing this 23.6, for us. So try doing 23.6 for us very first. In 5 minutes, somebody should have gotten the answer for 23.6, where they've given us the following budgeted data has been prepared for a company that manufactures 4 products, W, X, Y, Z. I can see the selling price for each. I can see the variable cost for each. And then I can see the budgeted sales units, which is same as what here demanded units. Then I can see direct labor hours per unit. If the total available direct labor hours in the period is 24,000 hours, and the company plans to maximize profit, which product should it make and sell in the period? 2 marks. 2 marks means 2 minutes. 2 marks means 2 minutes. So I'm giving you exactly, ladies and gentlemen, 2 minutes. Let's start. Let's see how far you get with this question within 2 minutes. So where are we? Let's see, where are we? Let's see, where are we? Where are we? Anybody who has a suggested answer, or you would still need more time? Anybody who has a suggested answer? Is there anybody who has been able to get some suggested answer? Anybody who has been able to get some suggested answer? 3 minutes, okay, but it's a it's a 2 minutes. It's a 2 minutes max question. Okay. But at least you guys are saying, Mwalimu, don't do it. We shall get it. That's one thing I love. We shall get this. We shall get this. Great, 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 great. So I can see really everybody's getting this correctly. Let's see. Let's see the answer. Have we gotten the answers, all of us? Have we gotten these answers, all of us? So 23.6 answer, 23.6 answer has to be around here. 23.6. 23.6. Yes. So 23.6, the answer is A. You can see here, total labor hours required to meet, they were 41,250. Direct labor hours are therefore a limiting factor on production. And at the end of the day, they were able to give us make and sell 25 units of X, 20,000 of W, and 833.3 units of Y, with the remaining 7750 units. Why don't you clap for yourselves, ladies and gentlemen, if you're able to get this correctly? And of course, ensure that you tell us, Mwalimu, go to the next concept. This concept now we are fine. This concept now we are fine. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. This concept now, the examiner cannot catch us here. If he brings this type of a question, now we are very comfortable. Now we are very comfortable. Now we are very comfortable with this concept. Thank you so much. The answer is A. The answer is A. Great. 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 I got it. Great. So is there anybody who has a problem? Can we go to the next concept as Winfred is telling us? Gordon Ware got it, yes. So can we pick the next concept? Helen is saying no. Helen, what happened? What happened? Not unless you guys are not doing the question, really. Not unless you guys weren't doing this question. Let's do, Eric Odinga, you are not doing this question. When I gave you the work to do Eric Odinga went for other things. Eric Odinga went for other things. Mayom joined late. I know the concept, or rather the having network challenges. I logged late, okay. Fine tune, okay. No, nothing like fine tuning means you never got it. That's a fact of the matter. And I hope you must have seen this kind of questions in an exam. It was 23.6. 23.6 is here. Yeah, that's 0.9. Yeah. Okay. So, of course, without wasting any time, I'm so sure all of us were able to go through the first step. The first step is the step of taking the selling price minus variable cost. So like for W, I will take 9 minus 5.5, isn't it? 9 minus 5.5, I'll be able to get what we call the contribution margin. So I believe that all of us were able to get the contribution margin for each of the products here. Contribution margin is selling price minus what here? Variable cost. Selling price minus variable cost. So selling price minus variable cost. Selling price minus variable cost. So we have W to Z. W to Z. So W to Z. W, X, Y, Z. So we have selling price minus variable cost. Could you kindly give me these answers here? So for W, I've shown you how to get contribution margin. It's selling price minus variable cost. So do we have these figures really? Do we have these figures really? W is 3.5. How about X? 3.5, and then we go to X. X, what do we have there? 2. Thank you very much. Y? Y is 1.8. And then we have the last one, which is Z, which is 4. So all of us, are we comfortable as regards to how these contribution margins are calculated? All of us, are we comfortable? All of us, are we comfortable as regards to how these contribution margins have been calculated? All of us, thank you very much. So the second thing will be for us to give them the limiting factor. So have they given us the limiting factor? Have they told us? So the limiting factor, yes, they've told us the limiting factor here. They've told us that the limiting factor here, you can see the total available direct labor hours in the period are 24,000. So chances are we may need more than these hours which are available. So labor hours are the ones in this case here which are scarce, come and give me the labor hours. So give me the labor hours for each of the products. You identify the limiting factor units for each of the products. So labor hours, ladies and gentlemen, that we have here, the labor hours that we have here are here. Budgeted sales, direct labor hours by 0.5, 0.25, 0.3 here. So we have 0.5, 0.25, 0.3, and then lastly we have 0.8. So please come and divide, please come and divide, please come and divide like that for you to be able to give us the CM per what year per limiting factor. CM per limiting factor. So what were you able to get as the CM per limiting factor? What were you able to get as the CM per limiting factor, my friends? So like 3.5 divided by 0.5 gave you 7865. 7865 like that. 7865. Thank you very much. So after this, what should be the next thing to be done? What will be the next thing to be done? We rank them, yes. So the higher, the better. So the one that takes number 1 is this takes number 2, this takes number 3, this takes number 4. Like that. After that, what should be the next step? After ranking, what should be the next step? Production schedule, isn't it? So you give us the production schedule, really. Come and give us the production schedule. So give us the production schedule. So production schedule, so we have our products as per the ranks. As per the ranks, we have X here, we have a W here, we have Y there, we have Z there. So having written the products as per the ranks, I will think about what is my ceiling in the form of the demands. So come and give me the maximum demand. So give me the maximum demand. So maximum demand for X, are you able to see the maximum demand? Are you able to see the maximum demand for X? Are you able to see the maximum demand? Yes, they're here, budgeted sales units. So for X, I have 25,000. For X, I have 25,000. And then we have for W, we have 20,000. W, we have 20,000. Y, we have 50,000. And then lastly, Z, we have 12,500. Ladies and gentlemen, the moment you give me this, then I'll be able to give you exactly what I was told over the many years when I was learning this. So once I have the maximum demand, I know the next thing should be about the limiting factor. Next thing here will be the limiting factor. The labor hours. So I need the labor hours. So give us the labor hours. And normally you duplicate the labor hours the way they are provided here, right? Of course, following the ranking now. So we know that X is 0.25. X is 0.25. We know that W is 0.5. We know that Y is 0.3. We know that Z now is 0.8 like that. So of course you are told that you must come and multiply this together for you to be able to give us, the total labor hours. So total labor hours, what do we have? Can somebody give me these figures very fast? The total labor hours. Can somebody give me this figure? 6250 from Levy. 6250, thank you very much. The next one, itakuwa ngapi? 10,000. Thank you very much. The next one, itakuwa ngapi? 15,000. Thank you very much. The last one, that is Z. The last one, Z, will be 10,000 again. So after that, of course, you and I know what will happen is for you to come and give us the total labor hours required. Total labor hours needed by the maximum demanded units, 41,250. So this 41,250, I'll come and compare it with what here, somebody? 41,250, I'll come and compare it with what here? They're saying it's not 41,250. With available, isn't it? With available. So come and compare this with available hours. So we compare this with available hours, which ML is giving me 24,000. Yes, 24,000. So having gotten that 24,000, what do you think will be the next thing to be done? 24,000 hours. 24,000 hours, we have gotten them from here. 24,000 hours, we've gotten them from here. Available hours at 24,000. So in this case here, somebody has been able to pinpoint that the next thing will be for us to get the deficit. And they have even gone ahead to give me the deficit hours. So you subtract, what are we getting here? 17,250. 17,250. And then of course, now we have to recover this backwards. We must recover this backwards from the least ranked product. So in this case here, first of all, we will be able to get all the 10,000 units from there, right? All the 10,000 hours. Because I want to recover 17,250, the worst ranked product for now can only give me 10,000. So I know that the other units in this case here will go where the other ones will be absorbed upwards. So I still have a balance of 7,250. So 7,250 will be subtracted there. So that the two here that I'm recovering should add up to 17,250. So I know that this is 0. This is 0. How about this? When you subtract this and this, what are we getting, somebody? When you subtract that one, what are we getting there, somebody? They are telling me that we are getting here 7750. Thank you so much. So this is 7750. Thank you so much. So, and that is it. So then what I need to do is to come and recalculate. Of course, for X and Y, I'll not do any recalculation. But for Y, I have to recalculate this downwards. So I'll have to say, let this actually be equal to Y. So I'm recalculating the new quantity of Y. So that means that Y times 0.3 should be equal to the new hours that we have here. Should be equal to the new hours that we have there, 7750. Should be equal to the new hours that we have there, which is 7750. 7750. 24,000, it's given in the question, my own. It's given the question, you can see here. Total hours available, there are 24,000 hours, they're available there. All right. So in this case here, then, if that is the case, my Y will be equal to 7750 divided by 0.3, which gives us how many units here, somebody? 25,833. 25,833, like that. Thank you so much. Once I've gotten this, then I'm at home. What I need to do is simply to come and give them a summary. So come and give them a summary. So come here and give them a summary. Come here and give them a summary. So our summary production basically will be that this one here was X, was it? So we have X, W, Y. Z, of course, is 0. So in this case here, X we shall produce according to what was demanded. X we produce 25,000. Y we produce 20,000. Not Y, but W, 20,000. And then Y we shall produce, in this case here, 25,833.33. And then, of course, Z, everything is 0 there. Z, nothing you're producing. And that is it. That is what was required of us. That is what was required of us, really, of us. And I'm so sure even the ones who missed it a little bit, it's maybe because they logged in a bit late. It is, otherwise it's a straightforward question. It's a straightforward question. Great, 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 great. So I believe now this concept is at home, isn't it? Understood now. The concept is at home. You guys will be able to practice this. Thank you very much. Now, the other semester, they brought something to do with throughput, and many students were not able to answer a question on throughput. I don't know why. Throughput accounting. Throughput So throughput accounting, as we finish, because I have another class, throughput accounting. So throughput accounting, ladies and gentlemen, under throughput accounting, what are we required to know? Throughput accounting is very similar to what we learn in CVP analysis. Similar, really, similar. Yes, very similar. Remember, in CVP, we normally say that contribution margin is price minus variable cost. In TPA, throughput accounting, material cost is the only cost regarded as variable cost. Is the only cost regarded as variable cost. Throughput. The throughput is the material. All the other expenses are what here are fixed. Under throughput accounting, all expenses other than material costs are fixed. And this gentleman who discovered this model came up with very good arguments. They said when you start a company, you can easily have arrangements with workers. For example, we publish books. So I can have an arrangement with my people that for every book that you print and of course we sell, we shall pay you like a commission. But you see, as you grow as an organization, these employees will put in demands. They'll start saying we want an SF, an HIF, it is. So at the end of the day, in the long term, you will have to employ these guys on permanent basis. So the only thing that we should be accounting for as variable cost is what here? The raw materials, because now the more the books I produce, the more the papers I need. So those ones will always be what here? Variable. Even in the long run, they'll always be variable. So they came and told us that the only expenditure